I want to change gears and shift here. Talk about life and the idea of, maybe sometimes hitting the reset button in your life, getting inspired, wanting to do something different, improving overall. There are a lot of things out there that try to get you there. Sometimes it helps to hear from somebody who's gone through some of the peaks and valleys maybe that you're experiencing yourself. Our next guest may indeed fit that. He's written a new book called Unbreakable, and he's a lifestyle coach. He's an author. He's a public speaker, but he's had some setbacks and some valleys, if you will. Carl Romain is on the other end of our line. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you being here. You were at one time a world champion in Kung Fu. Is that right?
That's correct. I overcame some challenges from a devastating car accident to actually accomplish that goal, and that's kind of where this whole story started.
So did that happen when you were really young? Was that something in your young adulthood, midlife? Where did that occur?
Well, I started martial arts as a young child. I was about 10 years old when I started.
Like a lot of kids.
I fell in love, like a lot of kids, right? I fell in love with it. By the time I was a senior in high school, I kind of made the decision that this is what I wanted to do. I wrote in my high school yearbook that I'd be a world champion by age 22, and a lot of people thought I was crazy because I just kind of declared this thing. And I graduated high school, started competing. I got ranked in the top 25 in my region, and then I got into a car accident. And the doctors told me I'd never be able to do martial arts again because I suffered injuries to my spine.
So how'd you take that news?
It was pretty devastating. I was lost for a while. I actually spent a year in a neck brace, going to tournaments, watching other competitors compete and win tournaments that I thought I could rightfully win because I had beaten some of these competitors.
Sure.
And it took a while, but I was talking to a good friend, and he said, listen, if you really believe you can make a comeback, do it. And so I did. And to make a long story short, by age 22, I represented the U.S. team in international competition and became a world champion. And that's where I realized that my life was saved for a purpose and that my passion led me to my purpose, which was really to inspire people to live the life of their dreams.
Is that book titled then more about, Unbreakable? You can certainly break bones, but is that more about a person's spirit?
Absolutely. In our lives, we're going to face things, For me, going through my 40s was probably the toughest decade of my life. I lost my best friend. I've been through good times, bad times, the flood, the fire, the whole nine. And I know a lot of people, unfortunately, are going through the floods right now and the storms of life out there. And so, having gone through that stuff, I realized that our bodies may be broken, but our spirits don't have to be. There are things that are going to happen in life, and it gives us an opportunity to start over again, to literally, reinvent, reset, and eventually restore our lives the way that we want them to be. Sometimes it's an opportunity to start over, to make a new beginning, and we have to recognize those things when they happen.
Well, a lot of self-help books, obviously state that, but then everybody who buys one wants to know how.
Well, in the book, I do tell you how. I not only share my personal stories, but I also give you coaching tools that I use every single day with my clients that are helping them to do that, to figure out what it is they really want, to figure out where they are in life, and just even to assess what the next step should be or could be, or what are the possibilities for their life and their future from where they are now. So the book is full of that.
Have you ever met anybody that you didn't think you could help, that you could inspire, either with your story or by finding out more about their own and taking it in another direction with things that have happened in your own life?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I've met a lot of people who've gone through stuff, and I find that it's easier to connect with them because I can relate to their experience, their feelings, their emotions, and where they're at. And then from where they're at, together, we co-create a plan to help them move forward and develop the life that they truly want to have.
Do you find just as many, you work as a life coach, lifestyle coach, you talk with some big hitters in terms of, they're high profile, they make a lot of money. Do you find that they have a lot of the same issues as the people, Joe Blow, Joe Beer Can down the block? I mean, do they have some of the, maybe a different dollar figure, but some of the same problems?
Absolutely. Having money doesn't make you immune from, going through divorce or going through personal challenges or losing somebody who's close to you. It just changes your opportunities and the things that you can do in life. But you're not, it doesn't make you immune to the obstacles of life that we all face.
Why do you think people have such a hard time finding what, everyone, what's my purpose in life? Well, what's life all about? Why am I here? And what is my role? Why do people have a hard time doing that?
I think it's a difficult challenge for people because it's not something necessarily we learn about in school or that we're taught in school. We're all here for a different purpose. And if you talk to people who are older or more mature, you start to find out that they've done a lot of different things in their life. In the book, I actually give you a process that I use with my clients, a series of questions and a process that you can go through to help you discover what your life purpose is.
Carl, when you were growing up and you were eventual world champion, were you as big a fan of the ABC show in the early 70s, Kung Fu, as I was?
Yes, I was.
And Bruce, I grew up about a mile, 2 miles from where Bruce Lee grew up too. Right? So that in Seattle, that combined with Kung Fu, I mean, it was everywhere. When I was a kid in school, it was a big deal.
Did you practice Kung Fu?
Very badly. Was not into martial arts. I was more of a boxing guy at that time. But I might say we had a few aluminum foil, Hostess Ding Dong throwing stars that were out there. So that was all part of the school routine back then. Carl, Amazon.com for the book?
Amazon.com for the book. It's called Unbreakable, The Secret to Developing an Indomitable Spirit. I give you 6 principles to reset your life and become unbreakable, and they are the truth, thoughts, purpose, choice, action, and accountability.
World champion Kung Fu, Carl Romain, our guest. Carl, good luck with it. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
1320 WILS.